Okay, so after we get some basic understanding of the concept of RPA, today we're gonna have some little hands-on in-class demonstration about this process, about these techniques with software called UiPath. That's one leading RPA software companies. There are also other softwares, automation softwares on the market you can utilize, like the Automation Anywhere from Microsoft. Me personally more familiar with UiPath, so I would decide to use UiPath as a demonstration. So UiPath perform the UiPath Studio platform for you to automate your task. Some features like I mentioned, like many other automation software, it can drag and drop activities in the workflow. It's very easy to use and understand, and it interacts with various of softwares on your computer, like your Microsoft Excel, your PDF reader. It can send emails out for you. So that means it can interact with your Outlook or Gmail. It can also interact with your web browsers to perform the collect information, or type some information into your web browser. So for this kind of in-class demo, I will show you one example of string manipulation to introduce you the concept of variable, how to use a assign activity, and to understand the data type and scoops in the UiPath. And then yeah, I will not use the Excel to UiPath to show you the data scraping, but I want to show you the PDF, how to read a PDF into UiPath. And then I will link that part to our intelligent automation project, as that project work with PDF automation mostly. And if time allows, maybe we can try some web interaction, but I really want to save our time to the PDF part. Okay, so I will move on to UiPath. All right. I will start from the very beginning to show you to let you get some taste of the RPA technology and get you familiar with this UiPath software. So basically, when you open UiPath, that's the panel you're facing. Normally, to start a new project, you will create a new process, and you want. So for the to create a new process, you can rename it as in, I will rename it in class demo. And you can choose where you want to save. It's usually very important because later on you might want to check your project folder to put some like files in that, so UiPath can interact with that files very easily. So I will normally save it to somewhere I can find it. So I will just put it in my teaching folder and name it in a class demo. So after you hit create, it will create this process. It takes some time. So that's normally the studio the studio UiPath Studio you're seeing. So on the left hand is a bunch of that's where you can search for activities. By clicking here, you can search many different activities you want to use. If you want to interact with your Excel, you can search Excel. Just with more experience with UiPath, you can know which activity you want to use. And to use the activities, like I say, it's very easy to just use the drag it and drop it to the like main sequence. That's where you're gonna design your bot. So drag and drop, that's very easy. And on the top part, that's where you save your project. You can, after you finish your uh, bot design, you can debug it. And for this manage packages button, that's where you can search for additional packages instead of default activities. For example, if you want to integrate ChatGPT into your RPA project, you can search for a OpenAI package that's designed by UiPath. You, allows you to interact with OpenAI models with UiPath. So that's where you're gonna search for additional packages. And this icon is a very useful function called app/web recorder. That's where you use to interact with many different type of applications like your Excel, your PDF reader, and your web browser. UiPath has now integrated all the applications into this one function. So you can, after click this, it will record every single step of your action, like click this, type something. You can also get the text information from your screen. So that's the app/web recorder. And then that's a very just a this the app web recorder search for activity. That's the most frequently used features you're gonna use with with UiPath. And when you select some activity, sometime you will need to change some let's see, parameters. And on the right hand panel, that's when you drag a activity here and select it. Here is a property panel. That's where you're gonna like adjust the parameter for your activity, like what you want to input, what variables, like here, what variables you want to output. So here I will use this assign activity to illustrate the concept of variable and to get you understand of different variable scopes, variable types, and sequence scope. So a sequence is like a virtual, not like a virtual environment, but it's within a sequence, you create a variable in that sequence, you will not be able to use it in the part out of that sequence. For example, if I put a sequence here and I will call it sequence one. And if I put the assign activity inside this sequence and create a variable, for example, to create a variable, you hold Control and plus K. I will call it a variable one. And for the value, I will use a string. To input a string, you can put a double quote, and I will type hello world. So here you create your first variable, and you can check your variable properties under the bottom. Here's a variable type. So in here, you can see the variable type is string and scope is sequence one. If I put another sequence after sequence one, and I will call it, for example, if I call it sequence two. If I call it sequence two, and if I want to use the first variable in the first assign activity, for example, I can assign the variable one to a new variable, but I will not be able to find a variable one here. It doesn't exist. So that means that variable one only exists in sequence one. So what we need to do is we change the scope to the main sequence. So main sequence contains both sequence one and sequence two. So now we can search for variable one here. You can see variable one pop up. It appears in both sequence one and sequence two. You can use it, right? But now for sequence two, what I want to do is I want to create another variable. That's variable two, and this time I will assign a number to it. So you can see there is an arrow icon that indicates something wrong happen, to check what's going on, you can hover over your mouse here. It's saying cannot assign the variable type integer to string. That's because when you create a variable default, you create a string variable. So for like here, you click variable 2 is a string, but the 1, 2, 3 is an integer. So you need to change your string, your variable type to integer. So you can see multiple variable type like Boolean, integer, and other like data table. You can browse for more types as you need in the future if you dig deeper into the RPA technique. And I want to also change the scope to main sequence. And so now I created two variables, and then I want to use a message box. I want to use a message box in the main sequence and use it to print my two variables. I'm sorry. So uh, I will just add the two variable here. Here, here you can see the two variables both pop up. That's indicate the scope is uh is under the main sequence, the two variables. You can just select it. And you see there is another arrow icon. That's because for the message box, you can only print string data type. But for our variable two, that's integer. So to change it back to string, you put a dot after that. Dot to string. So here you can see the arrow icon disappears. So that's a like very easy, very simple bot you can run. That's what you did is you create two variables and combine them together to print it. So yeah, so like I said, to debug your bot or to run your bot, you can use this button called debug file. But if you click for more, there is run, debug, and run file. There are three different types. It doesn't matter that much which one you use, but debug, that's a very useful function that when you click debug, it can stop as the activity occurs error, so you can know where is wrong, so uh, you can like configure your bot to figure out what's going wrong. So here it's print the two variable hello world 1, 2, 3. That's a very simple automation. And I want to use this example to show you the concept of variable, the variable type and the scope. And moving on, I want to do a demo to show you how to use UiPath to collect the data from a PDF files. So I will delete this main sequence and put another sequence here. That's a start from a new one. So here is my project folder. As I mentioned, it's really important for you to know where is your project folder is. As for now, I will put my two PDF files in the project folder for UiPath to use. And open my sample invoice A. So this sample invoice A is an invoice that the company received from its vendor called This Web Host Ltd. And that's a vendor company name, vendor company address, invoice number, invoice date, and due date. So for UiPath to collect, for now, I want to use UiPath to collect all those information because it's a PDF file. I want to record it in anyway in an Excel file, or I want to record it in my accounting software. I want to automate the invoice processing part. The first step is to read this PDF invoice and get those information. So it's very straightforward to scraping the data from a PDF file. That's what I mentioned, use the app/web recorder activity. So after you click that, UiPath can read this window. Okay, so actually this is a very good example for the PDF file. Probably because of the PDF is like a it's like a the format issue. It has all the information stored in the same big, how do I say, the same big um picture format. So the UiPath cannot really identify each single information. It reads the entire PDF file as a UI element. So it cannot identify very detailed information within the PDF file. And also it probably because of the web browser, I use web browser to open the PDF. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this one. I don't have the save. I don't think I have the Acrobat installed on my virtual machine. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have Acrobat installed. UiPath usually works better on Acrobat to read a PDF file instead of with a web browser. Let me see whether I can open it with something else. Google. Okay, I don't have a PDF reader. Maybe try this one to see whether it can work. Turn on extension. Confirm. This. Let me try again to see whether it can read. Yeah, it cannot read the information here. So yeah, since this unexpected situation happened, I also think it's a very good opportunity to highlight the limitation of UiPath when automated with PDF files. It happens when your customer send you like a scanned version PDF file with all the information in a picture. UiPath cannot identify very detailed information from it. But the alternative way is with the development of large language model, you can literally ask chat. Yeah, so I actually, my plan was to show you how the UiPath cannot identify the very detailed information on the PDF. Even though I didn't expect it cannot identify the PDF as a whole at all, but it achieves the purpose somehow. And I want to show you one thing is that's actually the bot I built up this morning to read this exact PDF file. Because previously on my Windows computer with the Acrobat reader installed, this information is like content as a whole. It can only read the vendor company name, vendor address as a whole together. So it's really hard to distinguish them if I want to store the company name separately, the street address, the county, the city, the county, the postcode, and the country. So it's really, really hard. I have to read it as a whole and perform some text mining approach to separate those information. But with the help of large language model, it's literally very easy. I just take this large language model part from our project prototype and change the prompt, change the file path. So that's the only two things I changed. And here now, yeah. And here now, I can directly use it to extract this new PDF file. So that bot was designed for my project to extract totally different information. But I only changed my prompt and changed my file path. Now, so like here, the prompt and the PDF reader, I only changed these two things, and now I will run it. So it takes a couple of seconds to read the PDF file and use a GPT model to process it as I instructed to be. Like it here, it can literally identify the vendor company name as this web host Ltd, vendor company street address, 337 bathroom. The town is South, the county is Berkshire, and country is United Kingdom with the postcode SL15P. And all the other information like invoice number, invoice date, due date, company, and customer company name and customer company address. So if you open that PDF file, you can double check and you will find all the information is very, very accurate. And yeah, from my own experience is the invoice number for this file, it can only identify them as a whole as well. So UiPath can only extract this information, invoice, count, the number as together. So if I only want to get this number out of it separately, and if I want to use this number like in my accounting software, I can only input the number. I need to do a lot of text mining or regular expression to extract the number out. But with the GPT, it can extract this number directly for me. So for now, this prompt is I asked the GPT to break down the address information for the vendor company, which is this part. Now I will just add. This part is like not that related about RPA. The entire process is done by large language model, by GPT. But I just perform the GPT using RPA right now. But like this part is the LLM setup part. I input the prompt. I will show you the prompt is this. That's my prompt. And basically I feed this information and this invoice information into GPT on RPA platform. So you can do the same thing on Python as well. Yeah, I want to show you this because you can perform this part on, it's just a two platform, right? You can perform this on RPA. You can perform this part on Python through coding. But to do it on RPA, it's much easier for you to utilize those information later, like to directly take this information, like the piece of information about invoice number, to put it in your, let's say, accounting software, your ERP system, and or your the customer information or your vendor information. You can put it, use it to update your, let's say, like your vendor system, vendor relationship management system. So previously, my prompt asking the GPT to extract the vendor company's street address, town, county, country, and postcode, and vendor company. Now I will asking something more from the from GPT. That's here. I want to also break down the customer company name and address. So looking for customer company name and address. break down customer company street address, town, country, county, country, and postcode for the customer company. And for my output, that's where I define what kind of structure what kind of output I want. So it's very, very easy to define a JSON output for ChatGPT to output. And then the JSON output is kind of structured data, right? Now I transform the unstructured PDF file into structured data. So RPA can read those JSON output directly and assign those return variables and utilize them later. So here, that's a company's customer company address. I will copy this part and put it after the customer company and add a customer to make sure that GPT doesn't confuse. So that's company, that's customer, customer's town, customer county, customer country, and customer postcode. So, and I will save this prompt and rerun this bot. So I haven't tried that as well. Hopefully it can get the result as I desired. Okay, as you can see here, previously all the customer address is as a whole, as is. I didn't specify the customer company street address. If I put a street here, it will only include the 3216 Maple Court. But that's the entire address. Now, with all those variables I add in my prompt, it break down the street address, the town. This one is a little bit, is there a town called California in the state MO? But it needs to be like designed more detail for the address format because previously that's a British address. They have town, county, country, and this one is a US address. They have the city, the state, and the country. But the concept is here, you can very easily to break them down by adding a couple of sentences and adding new variables to the prompt. It can break it down and it can get the information as you need. So that's I think that's a beauty of combining large language model with RPA. You can get anything you want as long as you write your prompt properly, define your output very clear, so the UiPath can use this output directly and perform more tasks based on that structured output. So with this demonstration,